What's good everyone? Today we're going to be building a PC. Let's go over all the components. For the case, we're going with the 011 Dynamic Mini. For the motherboard, I went with the B650 Wi-Fi motherboard from Asus. And for the CPU, we got the Ryzen 7 7700X. And for storage, we got 1TB of SSD. For RAM, we got 32 gigs of DDR5 Vengeance RAM. Now for fans, I only went with one Lee Uni fan to start with, giving myself room to expand later on. And we got a Cooler Master RGB AIO for the CPU. To power this PC, we got a 750 watt power supply from Lee. And for the star of the show, we got the 4070 Ti. To start with, I took out the motherboard out of its anti-static packaging. Then I proceeded to place the motherboard on top of its box to prevent any damaging later on. Now here's the CPU, the Ryzen 7 700X. Unboxing it, we're given a sticker and the CPU itself along with a set of instructions. This particular CPU has 8 cores, it's the Ryzen 7 700X, and it also has no pins on the back as it's AMD's latest series. To seat the CPU, you unlatch the lever on the CPU mount, then proceed to line up the triangle on the CPU with the triangle on the motherboard. Making sure the CPU is seated properly, you push the lever down and let the plastic pop off and latch to the lever. Now installing the RAM requires quite a bit of pressure when putting it in the RAM slots, so this is why the motherboard is on its own box to prevent the PCB from cracking. Now to install the SSD, you remove the heatsink on the motherboard and then take out the SSD. Make sure to seat in the SSD correctly, this one didn't require any tools. Then grab the heatsink, peel off the thermal pad, and then just screw it back in. Once that's done, that's pretty much the motherboard finished. Now we can put it in the case. Once dropped in, there were only 6 screws required to fix the motherboard in the case. Now for the CPU cooler. Take out the radiator, the fans, and fix on the fans and the radiator. Then once the fans are in place, you just screw in the radiator into the case. Now before placing the CPU block, put in your thermal paste pattern, and then screw it down. Then I put in all the wires into the power supply and screwed it all in. Then also screwed in the fan and made sure the wires were routed correctly. I then unboxed this beast of a GPU, the 4070 Ti. Making sure the PCIe cover is off, I pushed it in the motherboard on the top PCIe slot and screwed it in. And that's pretty much it, just install the glass back on and put the dust covers on. It obviously worked first try. Now for the satisfying peels. And that's it. Time to test it.